Assalamualaikum and a very good day to our lecturer, Madam Nurul Nadia, and to everyone tuning in today. Reporting for Malaysia's EU News, I'm ROWENA AYNNA, together with my team members, bringing you a special coverage on Malaysia's National TVET Policy 2030, what it aims to achieve, the challenges it faces, and the ways forward. Before we start, I will be introducing the team members where they will be helping us with the report coverage today. And that is Ms. SHAHMIN NAJWA, myself, ROWENA AYNNA, Ms. BATRISYIA, Ms. ZAIREEN, and Ms. FATIN NAJIHAH. Coming up next, we'll take you through a full breakdown of our coverage. We'll begin the introduction to set the overall context of Malaysia's TVET direction before moving into the policy problem, which highlights why urgent improvement to the system are necessary. This is followed by the policy objective established under TVET 2030 and the policy strategy, where we unpack the mechanism and approaches planned by the government to meet those targets. Next, we turn to the policy evaluation, where we assess both the strengths and weaknesses of the policy's implementation, identifying what has been effective so far and what will still require attention. And from there, we proceed to our policy recommendation, offering strategic and evidence-based proposal to enhance the TVET's quality, relevance, and impact nationwide. Finally, we wrap up with a conclusion that summarizes the key insight of our report. For now, coming up next and coming up first, I will hand over this coverage to my colleague Patricia, who will take you through the introduction and set the stage for today's report. Patricia, over to you.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. I'm Patricia. You are watching Malaysian Edu. We'll be reporting about the Malaysian new TVET policies. So this policy is a national framework introduced in early 2024 and officially approved on 29 March 2024. Its purpose is to strengthen the skill-based education across the country. The policy represents a major shift in Malaysia education systems, from being exam-oriented to focus more on practical and hands-on learning. It encourages creativity, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. This change is aligned with the removal of UPSR and PT3, which show Malaysia's commitment to developing innovative and future-ready students. The main goal of the TVET Policies 2030 is to create high skills and high income workforce that can meet the needs of the new and emerging industries. By doing so, Malaysia hopes to reduce its dependence on foreign workers and build a stronger local talent. The policy also envisions a flexible and inclusive TVET systems, where everyone has access to quality educations and lifelong learning opportunities. In short, National TVET Policy 2030 aims to empower young people with practical skills, strong values, and innovative mindsets, so they can succeed in fast-changing and technology-driven world. Let's look to the main problem in implementing the National TVET Policy 2030 in Malaysia. The first major challenge in implementing the National TVET Policies 2030 is uncoordinated governance. In Malaysia, TVET programs are managed by multiple ministries, including the Ministry of Human Resource, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Higher Education, and also Ministry of Youth and Sports. Each ministry uses its own roles and systems, which creates overlapping responsibility and confusion data management. For the example, some institutions run similar TVET courses but follow a different certification system, one under JPK and one another under MQA. This makes it hard for students to transfer between institutions or continue their educations. Without a central coordination agencies, ministries often repeat programs and spend government resources inefficiently. Poor communications among stakeholders further weaken the entire TVET ecosystem. The second major challenge in Malaysia TVET systems is uneven quality of programs and trainers. Even though many institutions aim to produce skilled graduates, standards of teachings and training varies widely. Some programs are outdated, using old syllabus or equipment that is no longer used in industry. This creates a skill mismatch where students leave schools without the knowledge or technical skills the employer needed. For example, moving toward Industry 4.0s, including robotic, data analytics, and also smart manufacturing, but some TVET centers are still use manual training methods. Many institutions have not fully updated their curriculums or tools, and some trainers lack real industry experience. As a result, students miss out hands-on learning knowledge and also reflect real-world workplace requirements. The third major problem Malaysia TVET systems is weak industry collaborations. Even though the National TVET Policy 2030 emphasizes the importance of industry-driven training, many companies do not take part in course designs, apprenticeships, or providing modern equipment. According to the Khazanah Research Institute, KRI, this lack of industry participations is a key reason for the gap between the skill of TVET graduates and industry needs. Currently, there are no strong laws or regulations requiring industry to be involved in curriculum development or in sharing knowledge and technologies with TVET institutions. The fourth major challenge for Malaysia TVET system is unsustainable funding. Many TVET institutions rely almost entirely on government funds for operating and program upgrades. When budget are tight or priorities change, many institutions struggle to make a long-term improvement. Budget cuts can lead to fewer training opportunities for students, limited equipment upgrades, and delays in introducing new industry-aligned courses. Funding challenges include centralized budget allocations, bureaucracy, non-uniform fees, and dependencies on government support. Economic and political change also reduce funding, making it harder for the institutions to keep up with new technologies and provide high quality training. The fifth biggest challenge in Malaysia TVET system is branding and social perceptions. Many people see TVET as a second choice for students who are less academically strong. This stigma discourages students from choosing skill-based educations, even though it offers great job opportunity and career growth. Parents often push their children toward academic fields like science, business, thinking that these paths lead to a higher income and status. Students in vocational tracks may feel looked down by peers or relatives, which lower motivation and reduce the pool skills workers. In reality, many TVET graduates work in high-demand sectors such as engineering, digital technologies, and automotive by earning a stable incomes and gaining a valuable skills.
Thank you, Batrisya. Next, I will continue my part, and my name is FATIN NAJIHAH. My part focuses on the policy objective of the National TVET Policy 2030. We have 5 policy objectives, and we will go one by one. The first policy objective is align education with labour market. The National TVET Policy 2030 focuses on aligning education and training with the demand of the labour market. This means that graduates will not only have the right skill for today's industry, but also be prepared for the future opportunities. By working closely with businesses and investing in training programs, the policy ensures that TVET graduates can secure high-income jobs and contribute directly to Malaysia's economic growth. Secondly is high-impact programs in vital industry. The policy introduced high-impact programs in vital industries such as engineering, digital technology, food security, and renewable energy. These are sectors that are critical for Malaysia's future development. Through partnership with companies and universities, TVET programs are designed to produce highly skilled workers who can compete globally and support Malaysia's transition into a modern, innovation-driven economy. The next policy objective is supply skilled workers to growth sector. TVET plays a key role in supplying skilled workers to industry with strong growth potential. These include electrical and electronics, modern agriculture, rare earth industry, digital technology, and energy transition. By focusing on this sector, Malaysia ensures that its workforce is ready to support industries that drive national economic progress. For example, states like Sarawak are already implementing TVET training in digital technology and agriculture to meet future demands. Number 4 is build an ideal TVET ecosystem. The policy aims to build an ideal ecosystem for TVET. These include modern facilities, competent trainers, and strong support system for both student and institution. The government has invested in upgrading training center and creating innovation hubs to provide a world-class learning environment. With this improvement, students will be better prepared to meet global standards and employers will benefit from highly capable workers. Last but not least is promote social justice and equality. The National TVET Policy 2030 emphasizes social justice and equality. It ensures that opportunities are available to all communities, including rural and minority groups. By promoting entrepreneurship and providing skill training for youth and low-income groups, the policy helps reduce social and economic gaps. This not only empowers individuals to generate income, but also strengthens local economy across Malaysia.
Good morning, everyone. I'm ZAIREEN reporting today on Malaysia's major education transformation under TVET Policy 2030. Before I focus on my main part, let me briefly walk you through the 5 pillars that shape this national policy. Pillar A focuses on governance. It aims to strengthen coordination between ministries and create a more organized TVET system. Pillar B, which is my main focus, is about improving education quality and ensuring that TVET students have strong, flexible study pathways. Pillar C highlights collaboration with industry, making sure that companies play a big role in shaping curriculum and providing training opportunities. Pillar D deals with sustainable financing, ensuring that TVET institutions receive a stable long-term funding. And finally, Pillar E focuses on branding and promoting TVET so that more Malaysians see it as a respected and a valuable career pathway. The first strategy under Pillar B is the plan to establish one unified quality assurance system for all TVET institutions in Malaysia. At the moment, TVET programs are accredited by two different bodies. The first one is the Malaysian Qualification Agency, or also known as MQA. The second one is the Department of Skills Development, known as JPK. This split accreditation system has caused confusion for many years. Some programs are accredited by MQA, while others by JPK. This makes it hard for employers to compare the value of different certificates. So, under strategy B1, the government aims to streamline this by having a single, standardized system that applies to all TVET institutions nationwide. A real example of this issue was highlighted in the report by Penang Institute. Their study pointed out that Malaysia urgently needs a single quality assurance system to avoid inconsistent standards and to improve both the credibility and the trustworthiness of TVET qualifications. This push for unification is now being carried out by the National TVET Council, showing that strategy B1 is not just a plan, but something actively happening in Malaysia's education system. The second strategy under Pillar B focuses on aligning TVET programs with Malaysia's current and future economic needs. This means that TVET institutions must offer programs that match high-growth, high-demand industries such as digital technology, green energy, electrical and electronics, sustainable agriculture, and even emerging sectors like rare earth processing. Why is this important? Because Malaysia is moving quickly into Industry 4.0, and if TVET courses do not match industry needs, it will create a skill mismatch. A real example of this strategy in action can be seen through the TVET official portal, which reported that the government is specifically expanding programs in high-value sectors as part of TVET 2030. Another example comes from the British Council itself. Their report shows a significant rise in the number of students enrolling in higher-level TVET programs, especially in digital and technical fields. This proves that TVET institutions are already shifting their focus towards areas that support Malaysia's economic growth. These changes shows that strategy B2 is helping to ensure that TVET graduates are job-ready and prepared for future industries. The third strategy aims to develop a curriculum that is directly influenced by industry needs. Instead of teaching outdated content, TVET institutions are now encouraged to design programs based on occupational standards, real workplace requirements, and future skills such as artificial intelligence, AI, digital literacy, data analysis, green technology, and advanced problem solving. Why does this matter? Because if curriculum is not updated, students will graduate with skills that do not match with employers expect. A detailed example of this happening was reported by The Edge Malaysia. They highlighted new guidelines introduced by the MQA that require TVET programs to embed digital skills, computational thinking, and data literacy into their curriculum. This update was made after industries expressed their concerns that many graduates lack important digital skills. Because of this, TVET programs nationwide started adding more technology-based modules to prepare students for Industry 4.0. This shows that strategy B3 is already being implemented in real institutions. The fourth strategy that I will be reporting on is strategy B5, which focuses on modernizing teaching methods and improving how TVET programs are delivered. Even if a curriculum is good, it must be supported by effective teaching and learning environments. That's why the strategy encourages improvement such as blended learning, which combines online learning with hands-on training, using digital tools and simulations, upgrading facilities so workshops look like real industry environments, and increasing the amount of practical training students receive. A real example of this strategy in action was reported by Bernama. Their article explained that MQA has introduced new guidelines requiring institutions to use more technology-supported teaching and to ensure students are exposed to future-ready skills. This means classrooms are being upgraded, instructors are using more digital methods, and students are being trained to use equipment that matches real workplace standards. Strategy B5 is helping TVET institutions move away from outdated traditional methods and adopt more modern, industry-aligned teaching approaches. The final strategy I will cover today is Strategy B7, which focuses on giving TVET graduates clear and flexible pathways to continue their studies. In the past, many people view TVET as a dead-end pathway. Students believe that once they completed their certificate or diploma, they could not progress any further. But Strategy B7 changes their idea completely by making sure that TVET students can progress to diploma, degree, a master degree, and even PhD levels. A very strong example of this strategy was reported by the Edge Malaysia, which revealed that MQA now allows TVET graduates to pursue master's and doctoral programs through new articulation pathways. This is a major step forward because it breaks down the old stigma that TVET is only for low-level jobs. Now, students can pursue advanced academic qualifications just like students from academic streams. This strategy pushes Malaysia to a more inclusive and flexible education system. In conclusion, the 5 strategies under Pillar B clearly shows Malaysia's commitment to improve the quality of TVET education, from creating a standardized accreditation system, aligning courses with industry needs, updating curriculum, modernizing teaching methods, all the way to opening pathways for higher education. Malaysia is building a future-ready, highly skilled workforce. This has been ZAIREEN Patricia reporting on policy strategies under Pillar B of the TVET Policy 2030. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene. Now, we'll move on to the evaluation part of the policy. I am Najwa, and I will present to you about the strength of National TVET Policy 2030. To find the strength of this policy, we first evaluated whether TVET 2030 fulfilled the characteristic of a good public policy, as stated in an article by Canberra University. The characteristic of a good public policy includes clear problem statement, formulated by experts with facts and statistics, supported not only by the government but also by the public, realistically achievable, and most importantly, it should be effective in solving the problem it aimed to solve. TVET 2030 fulfilled most of these criteria, but in this presentation, we'll focus on only 4 characteristics. The first characteristic of a good public policy that is fulfilled by TVET 2030 is that it clearly defines the problem it aims to solve in its documentation. On page 30 of the Malay version of the policy documentation, which you can get online, the government stated that the policy is formed to be a systematic mechanism that will be used for governance, fund and finance management, quality control and branding, as well as strategic collaboration, visibility and accessibility of the TVET program to the society. The reason is because there are many state-owned TVET institutions nowadays, but they operated differently, which resulted in production of graduates that do not meet the market demand. So, to solve this issue, the government come up with TVET 2030 to act as a guideline for this institution so that we can match the market demand for skilled manpower. Secondly, TVET 2030 also fulfilled the characteristic of a public policy when it is supported by the public. Because of the clear documentation available online, which promotes transparency in government action, as well as the standardization of TVET institution operation ever since the policy is launched, the public seem to be more supportive of the policy. As you can see, there is a huge leap of almost 15,000 in student enrollment in a year, marking a roughly 400,000 enrollment in the year 2024 in 1,398 TVET institutions all across the country. This increase shows that the people is having more trust towards the institution as an academic pathway for the younger generation. It can be said that after the launching of the policy, TVET is slowly changing from a second-class education system to be on the same par as other education system as it's supposed to be since long time ago. Thirdly, TVET 2030 can be set as a good public policy because it is realistically achievable, which is a trait of a good public policy, according to Canberra University. The objective of the policy, as Fatin explained earlier, are realistic to be achieved because the government is serious and passionate in achieving those goals, considering all of the initiatives done since its launching. As a proof, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, Malaysian 10th Prime Minister, announced in the RMK 13th recently the new TVET scheme called Scheme Pembiayaan TVET Madani and Dana Latihan TVET, which both are provided to students from B40 and M40 families. This financial support will not only increase participation in TVET programs, but also give opportunities to youth from unfortunate backgrounds to further their studies like many other students. Not only that, the government also aimed to create 700,000 jobs in manufacturing sectors and 500,000 jobs in digital economic sectors to widen the job opportunities available for TVET graduates. TVET 2030 is also included in the new Industrial Master Plan 2030. All of these initiatives implies that the government is serious in pursuing TVET as a major development project. This commitment and sufficient resources which are allocated make it realistic for the goals of the policy to be achieved by 2030. Last but not least, TVET 2030 is proven to be an effective policy in solving the problem it aims to solve, which is graduates' quality that is unmatched the market demand. As a proof, employability rate of TVET graduates increases over the year, and currently it stands strong at 99%. According to Minister of Education, Fadilina Sidek, some of the students even got job offers before they complete their studies. This high employability rate cannot be achieved if the quality of the graduates produced by TVET institution did not match what the market demanded in terms of skills, knowledge, and so on. Therefore, with the standardized governance system and management of TVET institution that is underlined in the policy and must be followed by these state-owned institutions, the programs provided become more effective and in line with the current needs. All in all, National TVET Policy 2030 has multiple strengths that is worth mentioning, as these strengths are proof that the policy is a good public policy. Still, we will proceed to the next part, which is the weaknesses of the policy. So, stay tuned.
Thank you, Najwa. Good day once again. And now we will take a closer look at the current weakness in Malaysia's National TVET Policy 2030, the areas that are limiting the policy's full potential despite its systematic framework. The Malaysia's National TVET Policy 2030 is recognized as a key initiative in the nation's effort to develop highly skilled and future-ready laborers. If successfully implemented, it has the potential to help Malaysia achieve higher income economic status. However, several generational weaknesses have been identified which could threaten the policy's core goal of promoting TVET as a competitive and respected educational pathways. Now coming up first, there is an issue with the public perception. According to Nurul Najwa Izzati Hashim 2025, TVET is still viewed as a second-tier pathway for students who do not meet requirements for traditional academic programs. This stigma has made vocational programs less appealing to high-potential learners and is reinforced across generations among parents, educators, and society at large. As a result, students who could excel in technical field are frequently diverted towards academic degrees that have lower demand in the labor market, creating a mismatch between workforce needs and graduate supply. Despite evidence that TVET graduates enjoy high employability rates and competitive starting salaries, this perception persists. In line with the National TVET Policy 2030, redefining vocational education as a prestigious and strategic career pathway is therefore essential. Next, we will go through the relevance of the instructional workforce. Experts have pointed out that a lack of consistent industrial exposure among TVET educators can lead to outdated instructional content, leaving graduates underprepared for the rapidly advancing technologies of Industry 4.0, including automation, artificial intelligence, and great technology. This is by Noor Adani Shamil Halik Basa and Muhammad Azrul Muhammad Noor 2023. In addition, structural challenges mean that professionals do not always receive the opportunities for collaboration and practical industry engagement recommended by the Department of Skill Development and Malaysian Qualification Agency (MQA). Attracting highly skilled professionals into teaching roles has also been an ongoing challenge due to largely to uncompetitive public sector salaries. Together, these factors slow the development of a solid, industry-relevant instructional ecosystem. The third weakness relates to the technology and infrastructure. Many TVET institutions continue to operate with outdated machinery and limited access to modern industrial-level equipment. According to Muhammad Ikhwan Abdullah and Telecom Malaysia 2024, facilities often lack CNC machining system, AI-driven simulators, and renewable energy labs. Students training on outdated tools are therefore not learning the skills that reflect current industry practices, creating a clear misalignment with the needs of high-tech and rapidly evolving industry. This technological gap undermines the policy's objective of producing a workforce that is flexible, globally competitive, and fully prepared for Industry 4.0 and beyond. Finally, the lack of visibility and communication about TVET career outcomes. Despite the repeated studies showing high improvement rates of TVET graduates, many students, parents, and even career advisors remain unaware of this information. Without clear evidence of salary growth, career progression, and job security, the public continues to see vocational programs as less valuable than academic degrees. This cycle reinforces negative perception and prevents high-achieving students from entering TVET programs. Strategic and systematic communication of graduate success is therefore critical for building public trust and improving TVET's national reputation. So in summary, we can see that the key weaknesses of Malaysia's National TVET Policy 2030 are negative public perception, outdated or underskilled instructors, limited technological resources, and poor communication of career outcomes. Addressing these issues is essential if the policy is to achieve its goal of creating a competitive, respected, and future-ready workforce. Coming up next on Malaysia Idio News, we will explore the policy recommendations aimed at overcoming these challenges and transforming TVET into a first-choice pathway for Malaysian students. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Continuing our special coverage on the National TVET Policy 2030, we will now move on to the most crucial part of today's briefing, the policy recommendation the experts believe are necessary to transform Malaysia's TVET landscape into a world-class, future-ready system. TVET plays a vital role in Malaysia's effort to build a highly skilled workforce that can meet the demands of Industry 4.0. But as we reported earlier, several structural weaknesses continue to hold the system back. To overcome these challenges, a series of integrated and strategic reforms must be put in place. First on the list, rebranding TVET as a premier educational pathway. Researchers highlight that strong marketing and consistent awareness campaigns can reshape how parents and students perceive vocational education. So, a nationwide rebranding effort is needed, one that showcases real success story, professional alumni, and industry partners who actively hire TVET graduates. Providing financial incentive like scholarship, training allowance, and guaranteed placement, especially for B40 students, can actually make TVET even more attractive. Public competition and industry-led showcases can also highlight student talent and strengthen TVET's overall image. Secondly, we can strengthen the governance through a unified national authority. Fragmentation across ministries has long been one of TVET's biggest obstacles. Students and studies has shown that overlapping roles and unclear coordination often lead to inconsistent program quality. And because of that, experts recommend forming a single centralized TVET authority that is responsible for national coordination, curriculum standards, accreditation, and funding. With unified governments and unified governance, the ecosystem becomes more efficient, more accountable, and more aligned with labor market demands. The third recommendation is enhancing instructor quality through structured industry-based training. So keeping TVET educators updated is essential for quality teaching. Researchers have shown that industry attachment is one of the most effective ways to ensure instructors remain in touch with current technologies and workplace practices. This means regular industrial placements opportunities to obtain certification from companies like Siemens, Huawei, or even CIDB, and even an industry adjunct lecture scheme where experts from the field co-teach and mentor students. This effort can ensure that Malaysia's TVET educators stay competitive and industry relevant. Fourth, modernizing facilities, and integrating future technologies. So to keep up with global trends, Malaysia must invest in robotics, AI tools, smart manufacturing labs, and renewable energy system. Studies have shown that simulation technologies and digital tools significantly enhance students' engagement and mastery of skills. Establishing TVET innovation centers focusing on areas like cybersecurity, drones, and green energy would help Malaysia stay prepared for emerging industries. These centers also serve as collaborative hubs where educators and industry partners can update programs based on real-time technological skills. And finally, strengthening career pathways and improving employability. To boost long-term confidence in Tibet, clear progression routes must be formalized, from certificate to diploma to degree, and even to professional technologies or engineer-level accreditation. A national Tibet career portal should also be developed to provide students with transparent information on salary trends, industry demands, job openings, and alumni success story. Expanding micro-credentials and also short courses will make lifelong learning accessible, allowing graduates to adapt as industry evolves. So, in summary, these policy recommendations, rebranding, unified governance, enhanced instructor training, technological modernization, and stronger career pathway can form a comprehensive strategy to elevate Tibet into a more modern, respected, and opportunity-rich educational route. If implemented successfully, Malaysia will be well positioned to achieve its vision of becoming a high-income, knowledge-driven nation powered by a skilled and future-ready workforce. Coming up next, we will wrap up today's coverage with our concluding insight on what Tibet 2030 means for Malaysia's economic transformation. Stay with us and we'll meet again. Thank you.
Finally, I would like to highlight the conclusion which summarizes the future of the TVET in Malaysia. The National TVET Policy 2030 is designed to build a workforce that is globally competitive and responsive in industry needs. It also emphasizes fairness and inclusion, ensuring opportunities for all groups in society. The success of this policy depends on the strong cooperation between government, industry, and academic institutions. While challenges such as qualified trainers, funding, and public perception remains, this can be overcome with commitment and collaboration. With all parties working together, TVET has potential to transform Malaysia's economy and position the country as an advanced, globally and competitive nation. Thank you for your time and attention throughout this presentation. We truly appreciate your interest and engagement, and we hope the share today have been meaningful and useful. Now, we would like to open for any question, comments, or feedback that you guys may have.